Hello my lovely and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Seppi and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier and more meaningful life. And in today's video, I wanted to do a little story time with Seppi to share with you an important life lesson that I learned this week when I got this new couch. I don't know if you can see it, but I just got a new couch. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, let's sit down and it is story time with me. So you're probably wondering, a couch, a life lesson, I'm not sure I follow. Okay, let me give you a little bit of background and I'll try to keep it as concise as possible. I moved into my home about a year and a half ago, and a lot of the furniture I had was not mine. It was from my previous relationship, and one of the big things that I received was a couch, which I was grateful for because when I bought this place, I had to be on a budget in terms of furnishing my home, and I had to prioritize, and a couch is definitely a big purchase. So the gift of a secondhand couch was welcome. However, I never liked the couch. It didn't bring up good memories. It was always a bit of a sore point. So one thing about me that you need to know is that I always enjoyed interior design and I always enjoyed decorating my home. However, I've never had my own home. I was never able to decorate the way that I wanted to, the home that I had, that I lived in with my previous relationship. And one of the elements that was always a sore point for me, which I know maybe sounds ridiculous for you, but was the couch. I didn't like the couch. It was a black leather couch. It was uncomfortable. And the whole place just looked like my significant other. There was no Seppi touch. It was not feminine. It was very masculine, and I didn't like it. So one thing for me when I moved into this home was I wanted to Seppify it. Yes, that's a term. I'm going to create it now. But I wanted to make this home a safe place for me to heal after my relationship of 12 years ended. I wanted to make it my own. I wanted to reflect my personality, and I wanted to just feel comfortable and warm and just a reflection of my personality. And one thing that was always important for me was the living room, because that's where we spend so much time. And because I didn't have the budget yet, I was not able to finish my home the way that I wanted to. And I understand it's not necessarily the most important thing in life, I get it, but in terms of my healing after everything that had gone through in terms of the breakup and the moving, etc., it was something that I was attached to and that I was actually really excited to do for myself, which was to decorate my home the way that I wanted to. Decorate my home the way that made me feel happy, safe, that made me feel like myself, and a place for me to heal and flourish after everything I had gone through. So here's what happened next. In December, I decided, okay, now's the time. I'm going to take advantage of Boxing Day sales. I'm going to sell my previous couch, the secondhand couch that I had received from my ex, and I'm going to buy myself a new couch, take advantage of sales, etc. I was able to sell the couch, but in the end, I wasn't able to find the couch for me. The one that I was eyeing just sold out, and it had gone on sale, but then it sold out and I wasn't able to get it. So what happened is that I ended up without a couch. And initially my reaction was, I'm not gonna lie, maybe a little bit stronger than it needed to be when it comes to not having a couch, but I was upset. I was disappointed, I was frustrated, I was just really not happy with the situation. And from the outside looking in, it's not a big deal. I have a home, I have food on the table, I have heating, I have a job, like everyone's healthy, it's just a couch. But it was not just a couch for me. So what did I do? I didn't really understand why I was reacting so strongly and why I felt the way that I felt about a bloody couch. I mean, it's really just a couch. So what did I do next? I allowed myself to feel whatever I needed to feel. I felt disappointed about not getting the couch that I wanted. I felt disappointed that I still didn't have the living room that I always had dreamed of. I felt frustrated that I wasn't able to coordinate the selling of the couch with buying a new couch. I allowed myself to feel all the feels, and one thing that really helped me to do that is to journal, is to write out how I was feeling, to just be able to dig deep and really understand what are all the emotions that I'm experiencing about this couch. And then also be able to talk to people close to me, like my parents, close friends, my sister, to try and talk through how I was feeling so that they could also prompt a few questions for me to really understand what was going on and how I was feeling. And the more I allow myself to sit with the uncomfortable and unpleasant emotions like frustration, disappointment, sadness, anger, I know it's just a couch, but here we are. The longer I allow myself to just experience those emotions and just reflect on how I was truly feeling, what the underlying emotions were, what I realized is in reality, it wasn't about the couch. It's never about the couch. It's never about the actual thing that you're frustrated about, but it's about what it represents and about what it means to you. Not being able to buy the couch meant that I was frustrated with myself for not being more organized, to be able to sell the couch, buy a new couch, and not have a long wait in between. I'm a very organized person, so I'm very hard on myself with stuff like that. So I was frustrated and disappointed in myself for not being more organized and not being able to figure it out, which I know is a ridiculous thing to be upset about, but here we are. I was also disappointed that they didn't have the living room that I wanted. The whole couch situation just brought up a lot of emotions from my past of never feeling like I had a home when it came to me and my ex, never feeling as though I was able to express myself and to be able to create a space that felt like us, which was something that was really important to me when we had gotten married, and something that I had really expressed vocally but never really happened. So there was a lot of, deep-rooted sadness and disappointment when it came to those expectations that I had when I had gotten married and when I had moved in with him. So once I was able to sit with the emotions, process them, understand the underlying emotions and what I was actually reacting to, then I was able to let it go. Then I was able to change my perspective to be grateful for what I do have. I'm safe now. I feel a lot happier than I did back in the day. I still have my own home. I own my own home. My first home that I own. I have a job, I have food, I have my health. I mean, everything that I need, I have. Whether I need to sit on the floor on my makeshift fort couch for a few weeks, it's not a big deal. So when I was able to allow myself to feel those emotions and truly understand and validate, okay, you feel a certain way because of your past experiences, the easier it became for me to release them, to release those uncomfortable emotions, for me to tell myself, you know what, it's not a big deal, I'm going to make the best of it and I'm going to focus on what I want to create, which is a happier life, which means that I want to enjoy every experience for what it is and still try to enjoy it for whatever it might be. I enjoyed having my little fort and having my little cozy cocoon sitting on the floor in the end. It wasn't a big deal. It's not the end of the world, but if you allow yourself to feel those uncomfortable emotions, it becomes a lot easier to understand who you are, what your past is, why you react a certain way to certain things, to validate your own emotions, and then ultimately to grow from it and move on and let it go. So what are the important lessons from the couch? The important lessons that I learned for myself and that I want to share with you as well. One of the first things is that I gained a lot more of an understanding and appreciation for myself, for my past, for my experiences, for what I went through, and to really understand the importance of, reflecting and understanding your emotions and to validate them for yourself. That way you can let them go instead of them building it up. Whenever you go through an experience, a situation, or whatever it might be, give yourself the space to feel whatever you need to feel and to really dig deep and understand why are you reacting to a certain way to a person, a situation, or anything. That way you can understand your background, you can understand where you're coming from. Maybe there's some healing that you need to do. Maybe there's some deep wounds from your past that you weren't aware of that you have to heal, and then make the time to do that. Make the time to let go of the stuff that isn't serving you anymore. Is it really helping you to be attached or to still feel sad and disappointed for something that happened in the past? No. You experience what you experience for a reason. Validate that, but then let it go and don't let that bring you down and tarnish your present experiences and your future life. The second important life lesson from this situation that I want to share with you is to always question and challenge yourself. If you react a certain way, if you're feeling a certain way, you're not sure why, to always make sure to question yourself, to challenge your thoughts, to challenge your beliefs, to challenge your emotions, to really question, why am I feeling this way? What's really going on? What are the underlying emotions, thoughts that are affecting me right now? To really, again, going back to point number one, to really understand who you are, what your triggers are, what your past experiences how they have affected you, and how you can learn from them and move on and let go. The more you question and challenge yourself, the more you can grow and become a better version of yourself and release past uncomfortable emotions and experiences. That way you can live more freely and live more happily. And the third and final important life lesson that this beautiful couch has taught me and that I wanted to share with you is to learn how to sit with uncomfortable emotions. I know things like sadness, disappointment, frustration, grief are not necessarily things that we want to experience or things that we choose to experience. However, they are a part of being a human and they are a part of our life experiences. And one big thing that I have learned in the last few years is that the more you allow yourself to feel these emotions, the more you lean into them, the faster they leave. If you feel sad, allow yourself to feel sad. You know, there are times where I just put sad music on to allow myself to really go into the sadness and just let myself cry, and then I feel so much better. It's like a wave. Any emotion has a peak, but then it has to come down. And if you can allow yourself to ride the wave faster and to really lean into it, the faster the wave comes down and the faster you can release that emotion. So a big tip that I have for you is to learn how to not be afraid of uncomfortable emotions. And I don't like calling them negative because no emotion is negative, but to know that any emotion is just a sign for you. It's sending you a message. If you're disappointed, if you're frustrated, it's just a sign for you to dig a little bit deeper to understand what the underlying situation is triggering in you, to try and either fix it, change your perspective, or to just release it and move on. I actually have a bonus tip for you as well. I really encourage you to start creating a happier toolbox. A toolbox of tools, resources, or things that you can do to help you feel better in moments where you're facing a challenging situation, however big or small they might be. Whether it's knowing that you need to do a yoga practice, deep breathing, journaling, whether it's talking to someone. You know, when I was going through a hard time, there was one specific podcast episode that I always listen to. I think I listened to that episode like probably 10 times about fear. So I kept going back to it. So start paying attention to the things that make you feel better, that help you get out of your rut, that help you change your emotions or change your state, and start building a toolbox of things that you can reach into the moment that you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, sad, disappointed, for you to have the resources available to you to get yourself feeling better and feeling happier and learning and constantly learning and growing whatever situation you might be facing. If you don't know where to start and you do want to build your own happier toolbox, I do have a free resource library. I call it the Happier Resource Library, where I share with you some simple, free, and practical tips and strategies and lessons around different things that you can do to build your toolbox, namely journaling, namely doing a life audit, or understanding and overcoming your limiting beliefs, shifting your mindset, etc. So if you want to access this free resource, make sure to check the description box. I will leave the link there. Make sure to sign up and get your Happier Resource Library so that you can start building your own toolbox to live a happier and more meaningful life. I want to hear from you. Is there a particular situation or challenge that you faced recently that you overcame, and what important life lesson did you learn from it? Make sure to share in the comments below and share the wealth of knowledge that we can all use and benefit from. If you enjoyed this video and you find it useful, make sure to like and subscribe and follow for more simple and practical tips to live a happier, more meaningful life. Until next time, I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye for now.